Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what are you going to be discussing on this week's show?
Ryan, on this week's show, we are going to get into the depraved and sadistic acts of Vince McMahon, and AI images have come to a school kid near you, and the prospects are frightening. What about you, Ryan?
I don't even know what that means. Tyler, on this week's show, can you be controlled through consumerism? Guess what? You already are. And I see how far Tyler is willing to go on Ryan's Vault of Sound. So let's get into it. Stanley Cup, Tyler. When I say Stanley Cup, what do you think of?
Those water bottles that everybody's walking around with. They've apparently become very, very popular in a very short amount of time.
Well, that's actually kind of not true. Stanley has been around for like over 100 years. They were like a camping company that did, like a little hot plates and, all that kind of stuff that you would bring camping with you.
No, I get that. I'm just talking about the way that they have exploded in popularity recently. They're almost like Beanie Babies, where like people are like collecting each individual one. It's very strange.
You were right. Collecting and connecting. That is the marketing kind of idea behind these Stanley Cups. And the story behind them is super interesting. I've heard it in a couple different places now. But the thing is, people define themselves with them, right? They are now like a purse or a pair of shoes. Stanley Cups, especially in the female community, is what's the word I'm looking here for?
A collectible.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a status symbol almost.
That's what I was looking for. Exactly. Now, what is interesting about this is that they were selling these things before as a utility kind of basis. 3 women who were putting together some sort of blog called Buy Talk or something like that. I don't remember specifically what it was. They found these cups. They fell in love with these cups. They were mothers. They had a handle and they fit in the cup holder and all these different things that Yeti cups were doing a couple of years ago, but now that's out. And so they were the driving force behind these things becoming popular. It's a very interesting story.
It's weird how certain things will just pop up in popularity out of nowhere, even things that have been around for decades.
But not out of nowhere, though. This whole thing happened because of the Stanley Company was being held by somebody for years and years and years. It was then taken over by the guy who made Crocs popular. How interesting is that?
He certainly knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. He knows how to give you not just somebody who buys your shoes or buys your water bottle because you like how it works. It now defines who you are. Look, I've got the Stanley Cup that you could only get for Valentine's Day, or it's the Starbucks version.
Sure.
So in other words, instead of just needing one cup, now you need 14 of them. You know what I mean? They make you feel something.
I'll take my 1 cup. I'd rather feel nothing. Thank you very much.
We could have, both of us could share 1 cup. Let's move forward.
Yeah,
Tyler, this is an enlightening show, and I don't understand why you're going to the low-hanging fruit.
I had a big lunch. I mean, I'm willing to work with you. I'll work with you.
That is a shitty joke, man. Now, so here's my only point, and then we're going to get into the fun. We're going to have a little hijinks. I think we're going to be rambunctious at some point. I'm going to tickle you. Now, my question to you is...
I'm only ticklish on my taint.
Oh, I know, Tyler. That's why I said I'm going to tickle you. I'm going to get you. Now, here's my point. Eddie Bernays. Talk about him on the show all the time. Did he win?
Yeah.
Explain what I'm saying, but did he win?
Yes, he was the father of consumer or advertising consumerism.
Public relations, which is the nice way to say propaganda.
I was going to say, I mean, there's lots of different types of public relations. He was the one of defining yourself by the things that you bought.
Well, when you say public relations, it doesn't sound right. He was the first guy to be in PR. PR is making somebody look at your or whatever it is in a certain way to make them feel something more than just like, hey, this is a fucking cup that I drink my water out of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what this guy believed is that are you stifling a yawn? Are you stifling a yawn?
No.
I need you.
I had a big lunch with 2 big old beers.
You mentioned that, and then you offered to poop for me or something.
I did not. I just said I had a big lunch.
At a very auspicious time.
Pass me that Stanley Cup.
All right, I'm going to cut a hole in this hammock, but we need to get through what we're talking about here, Tyler. What he thought is that he believed that the American public needed to be controlled. He believed that government should be in charge of our daily life, but he did not like the bloodshed of concentration camps. He thought that we could be controlled by consumerism.
And he's right. It's
happened, right?
It's already happened. And when it comes
Wally, we're on our way to you, baby.
When it comes to like concentration camps and murder and all that gives the people something to fight back against, to rally against.
So true, Tyler.
But when they're put into this almost fugue state of just buy, you get apathy, which is the perfect place for the masses to be, for the ruling class to continue to rule.
Just let me sit here and play Candy Crush until the world ends.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so interesting. Hello, everybody. Eddie Bernays, welcome. It's great to see you. Sigmund Freud's nephew, everyone. Give it up. Tyler, how you doing today, man? Welcome to another Those Guys You Hate.
Hello.
You asked me how I'm doing, or?
How you doing, buddy?
None of your
Even
business.
though you've already said multiple times that you're floating on clouds, Ryan.
And I can see that it's really bothering you a lot.
I hate it.
Which makes it better, Tyler. I know. Let's get this guy another beer. And let's get this guy the Depression Index.
Please.
Oh, man, it's so nice to say those words again. Cleaning and it went off.
No one cares.
okay.
You
You
don't
can just-
know what to do. The world has
So nice to say those words again, Tyler. What the Depression Index is a machine that I built with a hole in a hammock, and I sit underneath it with my mouth open. Tyler, that's too specific.
It's too specific.
Who was
it? I know. I don't know.
Let's tell the audience. Let's not just do a show for ourselves.
And-
I was the one who did it.
Are you saying I should tell the audience?
Please.
Yeah.
You're the one who already made the shit joke.
You started it with the 2 guys, 1 cup. Two
What?
brothers, 1 cup thing.
I didn't even put that together. I am hilarious.
2 brothers, 1 Stanley Cup.
Oh, wow. Advertising.
There was a guy, and we can review, I guess. How would I search for that? There was a guy
Was it the American Eagle guy? That guy with like all those sexual proclivities? Or
sounds like
All
it.
right,
He used to enjoy when he would lie under a hammock that had all the multiple holes in it.
No, just one hole, and it's got to be a funnel
Sure,
effect. If
and
it
then
got multiple holes, we're wasting it.
And then he would enjoy when a woman would get in the hammock and then defecate, and it would be
nicely done.
It would be done directly over the spot that he happened to be lying in.
Oh, is
he
that
was
how it
very
is?
Unlucky like that. You would think he'd just pick a different spot.
I was just lying here, and it went. Anyway, Tyler.
Very unfortunate.
I mean,
Unless he likes that. I
See,
mean, more power to him.
I got to be honest, and I don't. We've already gone way too far. Nobody wants to hear about this. But when you say that, I always thought that they were sitting somewhere else, and it just kind of. Because of the consistency, it was.
I thought it was the one that was basically like a spider web, basically, or they would crisscross. You know the one I'm talking about, where the ropes would crisscross.
Sure, like
it wasn't a solid piece,
a net, like a fishing net that you lie on.
Exactly.
Okay.
I thought it was just raining down on him like drizzle. You know? Yeah.
No,
I didn't think it was a specific funnel into one spot.
See, I was thinking like a bowling ball on a trampoline. Everything, you know.
I guess that makes more sense.
And I'm underneath. Anyway,
more bang for your buck.
I'm so sorry. This is gonna get better. I have good stuff. I'm sorry about.
I thought this was hilarious.
Tyler, scat.
Yes.
Now, tell me your Depression Index. I hate this show. Tell me how you're doing. 'Cause I'm doing worse.
I'm doing all right.
Good,
I'm realizing that I guess this will be my theme for the week. I'm realizing that there are certain behaviors that if I take part in, it really affects my anxiety and my depression and
like
all
what?
this stuff. Well, you know something that really affects me is I guess I should start with alcohol. Where alcohol is a great suppressant for like unhealthy, or excuse me, I should say lonely feelings, or a great suppressant for anxiety.
Yep. It turns it down just a little bit.
Or if you drink enough, shuts it completely off. The only problem is that inflames it in the long run. It makes it so much worse in the long run.
Absolutely.
You
pay the price for sure.
I've been out of the dating game for quite a while, and I jumped back on the dating apps.
Okay.
For just a couple days.
Sure. Grinder?
And it No comment.
Wow.
And yes,
Give 'em your-
I jumped on Grindr, and then I jumped on this other one. It's called Field, FEELD.
FEELD.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's
give
for-
them your screen name
and
if people want to come find you.
And it's more, that one's more for like the sexually adventurous types, I guess.
Okay.
And it made me realize that like it's fun. You talk to all these different people, and maybe you can set up a date or whatever it is. But in the long run, it inflames my loneliness. It makes the loneliness 1,000 times worse.
In what way? That's an interesting concept.
Well, just because this is all so empty, you know, like I'm not meeting anybody on any emotional level or mental level. We're talking about hooking up and all that, and it makes it so much worse. And once I deleted the apps, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I deleted them. It immediately got better for me. So
and while you're on something like that, there's a part of you saying like, I don't want to give this up. Like I got stuff going on. The moment that it's gone, you're like, I should have done that a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
I was on the apps for 1 month. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I like meeting people face to face. I want to smell your, pheromones,
Sure, good cover.
Yeah. I don't want to tell you where pheromones come from.
Yeah. It's the same thing with social media for me, where social media was such an addiction. And then the moment I quit it, I was like, I should have fucking done this years ago.
Well, now that we have this thing on podcast, granted, rightfully so, is putting in so much work and wants me to do the same. It makes me feel like shit.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like shit. I hate going on there, checking our stats and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but this one's work at least. At least this one's responsibility wise.
But it's very hard for me to separate that in my mind. If it was easy, I would have done the social media thing years ago when I started this thing,
Yeah. So it's, I guess the theme, I will keep it here, which is just be aware of the behaviors that may be normalized in our own lives, but are really detracting from our own happiness. The alcohol, the drugs, the dating apps for me, toxic relationships, so on and so
crack.
forth. Whatever it is. That one's debatable.
The crack makes the rest of it easier.
Yeah,
All right,
without a
spin
doubt.
that fucking wheel,
and
Tyler.
damn, does it give me energy.
Yeah, man.
So this week,
your cheekbones look great.
I will say that I am at a 5.
Spin
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wheel. Oh. I see a little burger. All right, Tyler, gay it up. Haven't said that in so long. That's nice. I have one sentence written here, and I'm going to shoot it at you. Tyler, do you want to be humbled?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being humble and experiencing it is a great pathway to self-growth.
Now, how do you think that the normal red-blooded American man, if I'm allowed to say that anymore, would feel about that? Do you want to be humbled?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to say. The only problem is to be humbled is to feel either embarrassment,
Completely devastated at all times,
or anger, or something along those lines. It's tough.
It is, especially because of the stories that you tell yourself around feeling that way. In some crazy ass way, being humbled is like the ultimate. It's what we're all kind of. I'm speaking about this in too large of terms, but what I was going to say is it's like the ultimate what we're all looking for, where you realize every decision I make, it has not been working for me, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. The idea of when you realize I don't know what the hell I'm doing, that shit is freeing, man.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That shit is freeing. And how do we get the word out that being humbled is a good thing? Not having to stand up for yourself on every microaggression or any transgression that happens to you where you think, I'm in the middle of this whole thing. I cannot believe this is happening to me. Life is so much better when you don't have that rambling around inside of you.
Or even being aware that I don't need to always be right. As a matter of fact, being wrong can be fucking awesome.
Well, and without even going into the whole thing, you will never know if you're right. Some people could argue that right doesn't even exist.
That's
There
totally
is no
fair.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you accept that, brother, I will tell you this. There are very few people out there that took or are taking being humbled worse than me. I saw myself as a god, and the idea of that not being the truth has been a crazy, painful path for me, and I highly recommend it.
Well, who am I supposed to pray to now if you're not a god?
No, keep going to me.
Hey, oh, okay.
No, keep going to me. I'm working it out. We got some things behind the scenes. We're getting to godlike status. This week I am at a. What were you at?
I was at a 5.
I'm way less than that. I'm at a 2, Tyler. Ooh. 1, 2, barely even felt that shit, man.
Good for you.
Maybe I am a god. Who fucking knows?
Well, I'll keep sacrificing these virgins and hope for a miracle.
You think that guy's a virgin. Tyler, give me one of your segments. Your choice, buddy.
Okay.
Wherever you want to go. I'm going to take a bite of edamame.
Ryan, we got another oof.
Fucking hate that kid.
We got another oof, and this one is a doozy. This one's a vile oof. Oof is a segment where we talk about people's behaviors who have done something either embarrassing or terrible, and it makes us cringe.
Yeah, everybody knows
at their behavior.
where your body has a physical reaction to somebody else's behavior.
Yeah. Vince McMahon, Ryan, you heard of him?
I've heard all about this. I've heard how heinous it is. I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
He is the CEO of WWE. I'm just throwing letters left and right. I dig this.
Was.
He's out.
He immediately resigned the very next day after these allegations came to light.
And how long ago was that?
Like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know there had already been allegations of him like with sexual misconduct and all that kind of stuff. So he is a highly controversial figure, has been for decades and decades at the lead of the male soap opera that is wrestling.
I think it's fair to say, instead of saying, everything you just said, we can call him now a piece of shit. I'm very comfortable in saying this man is a walking pile of garbage.
I haven't heard the allegations yet, but what I will say is this: as people have argued for decades, literally, about whether this is a good or a bad man, he has been wildly successful.
Oh, without a doubt.
He is. What he's done with wrestling is, it's one of the all-time business stories.
Well, and as we talk about, a lot of these successful people, a lot of these CEOs are fucking devoid of any kind of empathy or morals or principles, and he definitely seems like the type.
Bill Gates, keyed my car. You know what I mean? Yeah, not me personally, but I'm just saying that as a general.
That was just your neighbor named Bill. That was not the same guy.
Hiding behind the gate.
Not the same guy.
Let's move on. All right. What did that? You know what, Tyler? I trust you so much. What did that rat bastard Vince do?
Well, first of all,
Never trust the Vince.
He's being accused of not only more sexual assaults, but also human trafficking. He brought a underage girl across state lines in his car while emotionally and physically abusing her throughout the process.
Underage? Do you know how underage?
No, I think she was like 16 or something like that.
Fine.
But
no, that was a joke. I'm sorry.
Holy shit,
levity. Listen, if we were in Georgia, that would be just fine.
Yeah.
Not that Anyway, go on. This isn't about me. It's about Vince.
I have never seen anybody dig so quickly.
Oh.
You need a hole because Ryan will dig one for you.
Well,
and
do
it'll
it
be
in Georgia because I'm fucking moving.
done like that.
I love clay.
Now, he has resigned, and there's a few things that came out. First, there's obviously the abuse of this girl.
It's terrible.
Then you have the texting of one of his former WWE employees, where he was texting her. He coerced her into performing sexual acts on him. He would
by being the boss.
By being the boss, he had naked photos of her and then would openly share them with other people in the company.
Oh, we've discussed this on the show before. That guy who thinks you're being cool, you're being a douche, bro.
Without a doubt.
Do not do that.
However, it seems like the people that were surrounding him were totally in on it. He coerced her into having a threesome with one of the other executives in WWE. It gets so much worse. In the middle of the threesome,
the corporation is based out of hedonism. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
And brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. So please forgive me for this.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. But apparently, that can't be the trigger
That's
warning.
the trigger warning.
That's a happy sound.
I had it. Well,
it's a happy
we
sound.
got to put a brave face on. These are trying times, Tyler. Keep a stiff upper lip.
So during the threesome, at one point, he apparently turned around and defecated on her head. Just took a shit right on her head.
What's going on with you today?
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Are you okay?
You didn't give me my Stanley Cup, so now I'm just dealing with this.
He shit on her head.
On her head in the middle of a threesome.
This is 2 times now that you've gone to the poop
This
humor.
one isn't me. It's not humor. This is real.
I don't know how you pulled this off. Okay. So they're there. They're having a standard threesome. Like they're just banging.
As far as I know.
She's lying down. He turns around like that thing that like teenage boys do where they fart on each other.
Sure.
Shit on her head.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Tyler, this guy's a rat bastard. That's wild.
It's pretty terrible.
That's wild.
There are texts that he sent to her saying, I'm going to rape you in the hallways. Just saying, I'm going to straight up rape you when you walk by me. Yeah, just really diabolical, debaucherous, terrible things.
You're sending that text out and you're like, this will never come back to me.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, is there any text of him apologizing for shitting on her head?
No.
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of stuck on this. This is a terrible episode. This goes against everything that those guys who believe in. We are bathroom repressed.
That's true.
And we have spent so much time in the bottom part of the porta potty on this episode.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be able to perform in that way if there's another person in the room, much less if they're like inches away from my butt.
That is...
There's no way. It's just not happening.
All right, stop looking at me. Stop looking at me.
Somebody sing.
You know what? And I think the underreported part of this is, what's that other person doing? Like, oh shit! What the fuck?
Vince.
More like Pinch McMahon, am I right?
Not in that case.
Not in that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And then finally, to dismount off
Can't be anymore.
No, and this one is so fucking him.
Get this man a hammock.
This one is so fucking him. He forced her, or coerced her, I should say.
That's the legal term for force.
Into signing an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement,
Non-dump.
and said, I will pay you $3 million if you don't tell anybody about this, and fucking shorted her, bro. Only gave her $1 million out of the 3. You're a multi-millionaire, and you can't even pay out what you promised.
But you know what that is, I think? Because obviously he is, I'm guessing he's close to the billion range, just based off of no information at all.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if he were a billionaire.
Probably.
I believe that is, I am so famous. I have got this thing under wraps so hard. It's this control thing. I don't even need to fucking pay you.
Sure.
You ain't going to do shit. You know what I mean? But I am.
Yeah.
And that is that was a crazy story.
Yeah.
That is an oof.
Yeah, so
that can't be an oof.
So
we got to upgrade that.
I know. I didn't know what else to call it. I don't have another segment.
Hear ye. Don't shit on people's heads.
That's a good one. That's a good hear you.
Fuck.
So Vince, we don't like doing this around here, but this is so well deserved. No. Well, just pretend it was the 3 in a row.
I'm sure we'll hear it.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be great.
Yeah. Why'd the first one work?
Oh, man. That was crazy.
Who's shitting on people's heads, man?
Vince McMahon. There's got to be a poop joke somewhere in his name. I'm going to think of it.
Sure.
Podcast Granny, get on that. Okay. Wow. We got to get to break here. Very quickly, I want to, and I think I'm allowed to do this. We could.
Found it.
Your timing is impeccable.
Yeah.
You're doing great, man.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
You're like the Vince McMahon of the podcast. I'm over here trying to make content. You shit on my head, Tyler. All right. Tell me if I'm doing the wrong thing here. But I would like to issue a big old congratulations.
Wow! Congratulations!
To our Aunt Pat.
Oh, yeah.
Is this, am I doing the wrong thing?
No,
Okay,
it's something
she'll openly talk about it.
Something to be rejoiced.
On Wednesday, 14 years clean of gambling. And Gamblers Anonymous, we went, as we always do, we went and we celebrated with her, which I think is so awesome. You have your family to back you up on stuff like that. Makes it a million times easier. She deserves a big old congratulations. Now,
Without a doubt, man. 14 years without placing a single bet. It's like quitting drinking and going 14 years without having a sip of alcohol.
because for you and me, what those chemicals that creates, she gets the same thing from a scratch ticket
Without a doubt.
Fantasy football or whatever the deal is.
We all have our vices.
Damn right.
We all do.
Damn right. Luckily, gambling never got to us because that's one of those things that'll make you steal from your brother. You know what I mean? Or steal from your kids. And, it's a terrible disease.
Without a doubt. And I mean, for me personally, and the very few times in my life that I've gambled, and I'm going to Vegas soon. I'm going to gamble while I'm there. But I sit down and I lose my first $20 and I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
That was stupid as shit.
I could have bought a drink with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Man, with drugs, I could be keeping the party going with $20.
That would have been 8 minutes of Coke right there. And you fucked it up. Dude, the moment that I put money down on something, my mind is like, that's gone.
Yeah.
I'm just not a winner like that. You know what I mean?
And when if I do eventually win, I'll be like, oh, that was cool, but there's no trigger of of like dopamine or anything like that. I'm just like, oh, cool, whatever.
I'm going through the annals of my mind. I don't think I've ever won a bet like in a casino or anything. I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Yeah, I played poker when I was much younger.
Blackjack. When we went and played blackjack, I'm sure I won somewhere in there.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fun.
My buddy, when he
I'm gonna
turned,
do it all the time.
When he turned 18, he's like, I just want to go play poker. I'm like, let's go do it. And I remember winning a couple, and I'm like, this is fun, but there's so many other things I'd rather be doing.
Was it that Jew Dean?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy that you
love that guy.
And he's not Jewish. That's the joke.
It's a weird joke.
It is a weird joke.
I brought it up so we could talk about it. Sure. Nonetheless, so we're going over there, and what I realized about Gamblers Anonymous, which is like any of these 12-step programs, I believe in a lot of what it is that they're talking about. I think that their approach to it makes a lot of sense to me.
Without a doubt. My only issue with it is that when you go to those programs, they talk a lot about, the different.
They just talk a lot.
They do talk a lot, but they talk.
Get out of here, my bro.
They talk a lot about like why this is happening and it's a disease and all this kind of stuff. My only issue with it is they never go into how do you release the things that are keeping you trapped in this cycle.
Yeah, you're saying they don't go far enough back to understand this isn't just like the behaviors that I'm exhibiting. Let's try to figure out why I'm exhibiting these behaviors.
And not only that, work to release them. Let them go.
You sound like a kook.
Yeah, I know.
You sound like a fucking
I know, but
kook
it's
right
true.
now.
But it's true.
Like,
Kook or not.
Like we can fucking get over our fucking mental problems.
Totally
you sound like
can.
a fucking kook.
You totally can.
My problem with GA, and you and I felt it, where the first 20 minutes is us reading out of a book. Every time you go, same book, same reading.
They have to read all of that every time?
Every single time.
Holy shit.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't like reading in public.
Sure.
It's a pressure-filled situation. I think Gamblers Anonymous is losing a lot of people who are just afraid of looking stupid reading. And as it's going around the room, it's getting closer and closer to us, Tyler.
Ryan was excited.
I was always one of those people like, call on me. I want to do it.
Yeah.
You were not that excited. You're like, this is happening. This is happening.
Oh, no, I have no problem. I think I'm a pretty decent reader. I had no problem with that. I was curious as to why you were so excited
I love
about
it. I just love being the center of attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to look into that one. That's for sure.
I wanted to make the joke there while I wanted to, after she called on us, she was very excited that her family was there to support her.
Yeah, it's nice. I bet you a lot of those people don't have that.
No,
because
for
they
sure.
probably fucked their family over.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And I really wanted to make the joke, or like she calls me up like, hey guys, I'm Tyler. Last bet, never, hate gambling. Because they all go, hi, Tyler.
I don't think that would have gone over very well.
No, that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
No.
This guy's doing a tight 5 up here. All right, let's take a break and we'll come back with, I'm excited about what we're coming back with.
Great.
You won't be.